I'm Kat.
I'm Christina.
And I'm Jen.
Welcome to an all-new episode of the Hometown Haunts podcast. We are three creatives who love ghost stories as much as you do. Here we share stories from around the world sent in by our listeners. You can find us in a Hometown Haunts community on Facebook, Instagram at Hometown Haunts _podcast, or on Blue Sky at hometownhaunts.bsky.social. Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's been, a month since we have last recorded. Oh, happy summer. And Christina and I got to see each other 2 weeks ago at the Sketcherfest Edmonds. So that is definitely going to be the theme of today's episode. But before we get into ghosts and other haunts around Washington, what has everyone been up to? Jen?
Well, okay. I just made this for Christina.
Oh,
It's a sketchbook for her trials in Romania. Okay.
Like Christina, you're a witch.
Yeah.
I hope not.
No, but I had
awesome.
mentioned to her that I had been trying to make journals, and she's like, I want one. So I made her this one.
That's so awesome.
That looks really cool.
And it's not perfect, but it was a good learning experience for sure.
Ooh.
So that's what I've been up to. I've been wanting to make journals and actually use my art supplies. Huh?
What made you want to do it? This is what was attracting you to it?
I've always been interested. I've always loved paper and stationery and books and things. And in high school, in one of my art classes, we did paper marbling and handmade paper and made books.
Ooh.
So ever since then, I'm like, I want to get into that, and I want to get into that. And then, since I haven't been working, I have been watching YouTube videos for a while, like all year on bookbinding.
Oh, wow.
And making notebooks and everything. So finally, when Christina said she wanted one, I'm like, well, this is a good opportunity to make one in a traditional way, not just like, I don't know, slapping paper on a pre-made notebook. So like I hand bound it, made the cover and everything. Didn't cut the paper all too straight, so it might be a little bit off.
Oh, that's a fun.
I think that's what
for the life of me, I cannot do anything in a straight line. Okay. I try. I can't cut paper. I can't draw a straight line. Sometimes I can't walk in a straight line. So, but I think it looks good and I think it is usable. So I want to make more is what I'm saying.
There was a guy that was at Sketcherfest. I don't know if you saw him. He was like right when you walked in, Cyril from France. I think he was from France. But he hand makes all of his sketchbooks for his travels. He said so that he doesn't have extra pages at the end. So he makes them maybe like 10, 15 pages or something. And like we'll have them for his different events that he does. And he was like, you should make your own too. And I said, well, I said, I'm having one made for... But I mean, I'd like to do it eventually, make some.
It depends on how detailed you want to get. You could easily make one with a stapler, like you've done with or a pamphlet stitch or something. Those are super easy. It just depends on what you want to do. Like a lot of artists make their own books because it feels like that it gives them the control. Like a lot of people have a thing where they spend all this money on a journal and it has all this pretty nice pristine paper in it, but it's like, I don't want to get it dirty.
Yes,
so they don't use it. Yeah. So if you make it yourself, maybe from paper, I don't know, that you kind of sketched on the back of and you're like, oh, now I don't feel so bad because I'm using what I already have. And so, and I have a ton of art supplies that I have been collecting throughout the years that I need to use.
Oh, do you have dotted paper or line like graphed paper?
That dotted paper is so popular.
I do have some like traditional graph paper with the squares. I do not
Mhm.
have like dotted for like bullet journals.
Okay.
But that was a thought of mine to make journals that had that dotted paper in it, because that is a huge thing right now.
Mhm.
With lined paper and unlined paper that you can write or make lists for, and then also include in it like mixed media paper if you want to
Mhm.
use it to draw or sketch or paint or whatever.
Yeah. What I was gonna suggest is if you had the dotted paper, then I would commission you to make me layout books for my comic thumbnails.
Okay.
So much like what Christina was saying, I like to make books that have the exact amount of pages that I'm going to need for a full graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
So then I literally do all the pencil layouts,
Uh-huh.
and then um having multimedia paper where I could just do a watercolor illustration for like concept art. That would be cool. It'd be
Yeah.
really nice to have like an entire little Bible, basically,
Okay.
a creative Bible to be able to work through. We can talk about it later.
Yeah.
But that
That's
would be
really
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
And yeah. So it didn't deter me from making more. I'll say that.
That's cool.
The hardest part is waiting for the glue to dry,
Oh yeah.
because you want to use, and I was telling you before, I used all not non-archive. I've used all archival stuff.
Nice.
PVA glue, acid-free paper, maybe not the Atlas paper, the
Hark,
vintage
what
paper.
do I hear? I hear millions of librarians cheering on these decisions.
Well, I want to make stuff that'll last. Like,
Yeah.
No,
if
that's
I'm
awesome.
taking, like Christina does, if I'm taking this on a trip that is specifically to draw for, and that she then turns into her own books, I want this to last.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want it to fall apart in 5-10 years.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
I used wax thread. I used
Ooh.
all the industry standards, so hopefully it won't fall apart.
Oh, awesome.
That
I
sounds
can't wait
really
to see
nice.
it.
Yeah.
Can't wait
Yeah.
to sketch on it.
Ooh.
I'm excited.
You'll need to
Yeah.
make some videos about that.
Yeah.
Yes, I told her to take lots of pictures.
I
and
took
she did it.
pictures. I hope they're okay. They're not great, but I did take some.
Yeah, it's really cool, Jen.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Me too. Now, if I could just have a business.
We
One
can
step at
help
a
you.
time.
We'll help you. All right. So I know Christina has a lot because of Sketch Fest. The only thing I have going on right now is I have a watercolor class on September 21st from 1 to 3 p.m. at Happy Time Studio.
Oh, fun.
You can
That you're teaching.
that I'm teaching. Yes, I am now an art teacher.
Yay!
That is
That's
a
so
new little
exciting.
hat.
It's
It's so
exciting.
exciting.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
thank you. And this one's for adults. This is an adult class. Not that it's not safe for work. It's just meaning that we have really nice stuff we're using, and I don't need it thrown across the room. So, sorry, children. The comics classes are later this fall, but right now, this late summer, we're doing the watercolor classes, and this one is for all levels. So mostly geared towards people just getting into watercolor, and I'll be teaching just how do you mix your colors, how do you make your gradients, and then we do. I think there's a dog asleep underneath me making a wheezing sound. And then also we'll be painting a really simple cactus probably, or some other plant that is native to around here. Not that cactuses are native to around here. I just have a lot of them in my house.
Yeah.
As a subject.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that goes to where Christine and I saw each other, which was at Sketcherfest Edmonds, and I brought my friend Blaine along for the ride because I was not confident in driving by myself. And and it was fun, and we got to go to your talk, Christina, about making travel logs, which has gotten Blaine so energized to make travel logs.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad she was excited by it.
Yes.
I loved her
I
sketch
was
she did of it.
with them. Yeah. They were illustrating one with the watercolors they had picked up at Sketcher Fest, and they're turning out awesome. So I encourage them to take photos and send them to you. I don't know.
Oh, I hope she does. I hope she.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of Daniel Smith there, which they had the Daniel Smith reps there.
Mm-hmm.
And Is that what watercolors do you use? You're going to teach a class. Is Daniel Smith one of your favorites, or what are your favorite
I
watercolors?
wasn't going to use Daniel Smith, though I did pick up some so that I could play with them to help. The ones that we're using are just sorry.
Give him a minute.
What is happening, Jen?
He's
climbing up the chair.
It's your little demon cat.
It is my houseborn, Jensen.
I'm sorry. I heard the sounds and I'm like, something is happening on somebody's table. And then I just saw the cat.
My chair. And he does this to try to sneak onto the desk.
Oh no.
Which I don't allow him to because I have a lot of negatives up here.
Right.
To scan.
Smart.
Doesn't stop him though, but I've kind of taught him to sit for a little bit.
No, that's really sweet. Well,
the look on his face is like, yeah, right.
Yeah. He's not going to stay there long.
No.
Yeah.
But
he says, I do what I want.
Yes, he does.
But to answer your question, Christina, we're just using the Winsor & Newton watercolors.
Yeah, those are good too.
And just because they're a pretty good entry level, they're not super frustrating to use. And then we are using either Strathmore or Arches for paper, because the entire point was to not get people frustrated with painting, because and I know this from just personal experience, I would pick up really cool looking paper or really cool looking inks and I wouldn't know how to use them properly. And if I got like a hot press watercolor paper and put on a really watery dollop of paint and then it just goes everywhere, I'm just like, what's going on? Why isn't it being controlled? So it's just that's what this helps explain, is how do your tools affect your paintings. So.
That's true. That's really good. Yeah, I think that was their main watercolor sponsor. I use Core a lot, but I have some Daniel Smith too. There's Daniel Smith granulate a lot more. If you get the ones, I mean, they have some really nice granulating ones. A couple brands out there that really do interesting granulation. And since I'm even when I use watercolor, I tend to really favor heavy pigments. I think that's from doing children's book stuff and working in acrylics for so long. I just like colors that pack a punch.
Yeah, I'm watching.
It's like I'm already bored.
Yeah. But yeah, I get that. And packing a punch is important. And also photographs better when you take like a photograph or a scan photo of it. So
you're right. Some of those really light watercolors can be really hard to scan.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's so many different kinds now. I mean, it's like you have to try. I got a set of watercolors, and I need to open them. I have them sitting here. Maybe I should bring them to Poland, but they were made by the old recipes of watercolors. They sell them in Italy, and they are handmade. They make a lot of their own paints there, traditionally. Like they make egg temperas there, which I know some people that love using egg tempera. I've not used it before, but I've heard it can be really beautiful when you use it.
Isn't that what they used to like do their murals and stuff back in the day in Italy?
I think so. I know that, I mean, I don't think I would have survived as an artist if I'd had to make my own paint. I mean, that used to be a part of the process. We had to buy the pigments. And one wonders how sick that made some of these artists, because a lot of those pigments are not really, I doubt they were. I have a lot of friends now that when they paint, and you guys probably know people too, that when people paint with oils, a lot of times now they wear gloves.
Yeah.
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 Well, yeah. Even with the acrylics and stuff, there's chemicals in there.
Yeah, some of those pigments are, and I think it goes without saying, never point your brush in your mouth.
No.
It's not good for you.
I know when I was a kid, I would do that, but I was dealing with like Crayola non-toxic paint. So,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, dumb cat got into my glue water when I was making your book.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's like, I hope he didn't drink it.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
He's fine. He seems fine, but yeah.
That's good.
Jerk.
Yeah, nothing's more fun than cleaning paint off cats' feet. But yeah, we had a wonderful time. I'm glad you guys came to the talk. It was really fun. And And it was really interesting because people were just so into sketching and sketchbooks. And it was interesting, like a lot of the artists that were there, their different approaches and their different experiences and how they, approach. I mean, that's the thing that's exciting, no matter what art you're in, whether it's, comics or if you're into sketchbooking or watercolor or plein air or, oils. It's really interesting to see people's different approaches and materials and that kind of thing.
Yeah, there was one artist there that we happened to know we had mutual friends and we had both been at SPX, but we both missed each other last year.
Aww.
And we're just like, how did we miss each other? And and unfortunately, I don't remember her name or her handle right off the top of my head to be able to say, but she made a bunch of zines and she was on that far side of the wall. And there was
I know who you're talking about because she's done stuff for like the New Yorker and stuff.
Yeah, she's done very
really nice.
vibrant illustrations, which is why I was attracted to her table because I'm like, look at all these bright pinks and yellows, and I really loved that. And yeah, it turned out that we have a lot of friends in common, and she made zines.
Cool.
And I was asking her about the zines, not necessarily about her sketching books, and she's just like, why do you keep asking me about zines? I'm like, well, I'm a cartoonist in a sketch fest right now. So, and that made...
I'm sure she was happy to talk about the zines too.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because the nature of this was storytelling through sketchbooks. So,
yeah.
I mean, their thrust is beyond like doing a pretty picture in your sketchbook, but like talking about what happens to you there and reportage and stuff like that.
Yeah. I enjoyed reading your latest travel log, Christina.
Oh, good. I'm glad you found it interesting.
Yeah, I
did. I mean, it has everything, the bear and the...
Yeah.
I'm looking up the artist now. Sorry.
Oh, good.
You had lots of pretty pictures.
I could picture her, but I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Very nice person. What was it?
I can't remember it either. That's why I'm looking. And I have been sanding a deck for the past 2 days. So my brain is mush right now.
How are you awake?
That's why I keep yawning. It's not because you're boring me.
I hope it's a good power sander.
It is, except for I've broken it twice.
Oh,
and
no.
Mike has had to put it together twice. It's not like permanently broken or anything. It was it's Sanika Podwi.
Yes. I liked her work a lot. We talked a little bit, but there were so many people there. Unfortunately, we didn't get to talk a lot, but we chatted a little bit.
Yeah, she is at the Jackfruit Slayer on Instagram. I'm gonna follow.
She's done a lot of really big editorial work.
Yeah, she was great. She was real fun to talk to. So, yeah.
I mean, it's exciting to see people getting that kind of cool stuff. Especially because a lot of those types of clients are diminishing in a big way as funding gets cut. I mean, a lot of these outlets aren't around as much. But anyway, it was a really fun experience, and hopefully they'll do one next year. And
now, do they do Sketcher Fest every year in Edmonds, or are there different Sketcher Fests around the world? Do you know?
It's just in Edmonds. This is just Gabi's thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's a great area to have it, and it's nice that that gives you the consistency. And I think this was the first year at Graphite because that thing looked like it was a new building.
Yeah, that looked really new.
And when I was looking at it on Google Earth, half the pictures it was a hole in the ground and half were built. So I suspect there's probably a lot of that area like that where things are building up so fast that you see sort of snapshots of the construction.
Yeah, or what it was beforehand. It's so new that it hasn't even updated on Street View.
Well, that's why when I was working on the travel log, I was trying to find some names of places we went, and there was one place in Constanza that, like, the restaurant we were at and all the stuff that was around us was not there in Google Earth. It's what a lot of cities are doing, where they're removing some of the roads in the center so that they can have more square.
Mhm.
and have lots of people, foot traffic and stuff. So the last time Google had taken a picture, like the whole area had been a kind of a roundabout where a
Oh.
lot of traffic went through, and now it's totally closed and people can just walk around there. And it's interesting to see the evolution through Google Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah, I know. I was like everything, and it seems like there's a bit of a growth spurt, perhaps, in the outer areas of Seattle.
Yeah, there's definitely a growth spurt, and Edmonds is definitely one of them. It is considered a northern suburb, essentially, of Seattle. They're not
Mm.
gonna like me saying that, but it's a lot of people commute, and it's only 15 miles north of Seattle proper.
Mhm.
So you have Linwood in between. And so it's a really easy bedroom community for the city. And you're right on the Puget Sound. It's gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
The
Yeah,
sunset was so incredible there.
yeah, yeah. And you're nearly unobstructed by like islands and you would see the Olympic Mountains out west. Because
Mhm.
what I know people who aren't in the Puget Sound or people like me who did not realize the geography of Washington, but Seattle's within the Sound and the um, Olympic Peninsula hooks around it. So you will see the Olympic mountain range from the west. So it looks like there's still more land. There is, but I didn't realize it when moving here that we aren't really at the end of the United States. We're just on a sound. The rest of the country keeps going. It's just around us to the north and south. I did not
Mhm.
realize that until basically I was face to face with the Olympic mountain range. It was a very clear day, and we're just like, wow, in one of the Cougar Mountain, we can see the Olympic mountains and then see the ocean from there. But
Mhm.
it was a
And
more
so
clear day.
apparently there's some ghost stories there.
There are. So I picked a few ghost stories, and the thing I have noticed moving out west, especially up here, is that there are not a lot of haunts that are circulated
Interesting.
around the communities. Unlike the Midwest, where we're very proud of our ghost stories and are very open and willing to talk about them, people here in the Pacific Northwest are much more quiet about it. But then once they know that you're interested, suddenly the story starts seeping out, basically. So we're gonna talk about Edmonds and also Port Townsend, where you went a little bit uh, later, because I got a story for you too, for up there. So our
Excellent.
sources for tonight are the Seattle Times, My Edmonds News, Point Wilson Lighthouse website, the book Weird Washington, and the United States Lighthouse Society, which I didn't know existed. I don't know why, but I feel like I said that the last time we talked about a lighthouse as well. My memory is short. I sanded a deck today. Anyway, facing the Puget Sound with the Olympic Mountains out in the distance is the city of Edmonds, Washington. Established in 1876 by logger George Brackett and incorporated in 1890 before the arrival of the Great Northern Railway, milling Washington cedar was the main industry of the town until the 1950s. It is now a hub of the arts and a popular location for regional festivals outside Seattle because it's super easy to get to. You have light rail and Amtrak, and where we were at, that the Edmonds Waterfront Center is a super popular place for festivals year round, just outside Seattle, not just for not the Urban Sketcherfest. So our first location actually was within walking distance of Sketcherfest, and
Really? And I didn't make it there?
Blaine
I
and
think I
I
might have seen it.
stared at it from across the street. And it's actually what got me the idea to do this show. And then did I take a photo of it? No, I did not.
Now, when you were staring at it, did you get a feeling of something and that's why you wanted to investigate?
I think I was picking up on something, but all of Main Street, Edmonds, was a pretty energized area. Now, it could have just been the adrenaline of being at Sketcherfest and being with a bunch of artists, but it also felt a little bit off, if that makes sense. Like when we went to, was it the Anchorage, and we kind of just all kind of felt a little weird. And Jen, you had to go outside for a little bit. It was kind of that feeling, but all over Main Street. We were also trying not to get hit by cars that were trying to turn from the off streets, so couldn't really concentrate on anything. But I remember looking at this theater and going, I should take a picture, and I got distracted. So probably by some paper or paint or something. So our first location is the Edmonds Theater. And the old Edmonds Theater was opened in 1916 as the Union Theater and then became the Princess in 1921 when the Barry family became owners of the establishment. They then built a larger Princess Theater, also known as the New Princess Theater, across the street in 1923, complete with both stage and screen. The Princess, the larger one, became the hub of the news during World War II, showing newsreels in addition to movies. The Barrys passed away in 1940 and 1941, respectively, leaving their daughter and son-in-law, the Browns, in charge of the theater. In 1952, the Princess was sold out of the family and transitioned through both names and owners until the late 1970s, until Jacques Mayo purchased the property in 1979 and renamed it the Edmonds Theater. Jacques transformed the theater to show art house movies, then later into a dollar theater showing second-run films before becoming a first-run movie theater as it is today. Like, currently, they are showing Bad Guys 2, according to, like, looking up their website. And I'm like, that's a good movie. I would go see it there. They were just showing Superman beforehand. This dates it a little bit. Okay. Anyway, the theater also was renovated back into its Art Deco style in 1999, and now Jock's daughters run the Edmonds Theater, and it has continued to be a center of the Edmonds community. And they do a whole bunch of community involvement events there as well, as long as charity auctions, movie theaters, kids like elementary school, field trips, all sorts of fun things. Like, that's really neat. The theater, of course, is home to a glowing ghost, and this is one of the first I've heard, and this is a theme for the night. Legend has it that as the film lights dim down and the movies start, a silhouette of a person has been seen walking down the main aisle. Although not too bizarre to be seeing a ghost in a theater, it's a pretty common thing actually, the Edmonds Theater's ghost also has a soft glowing aura around it as it passes by. Who the ghost is and why they continue to haunt the theater is a mystery. So that's everything about the Edmonds Theater. It is located on Main Street, kitty corner to the Art Spot, which is the big art store that helps support Sketcherfest. And Blaine and I had gone to the Art Spot when we ran into the theater, essentially. So it was a neat location. Definitely fun shopping.
I do remember seeing it now.
Yeah, I think it was on the way just past. I don't remember if Graphite was right across the street from it or around in that area.
Graphite's like a little bit down the street, but not far, like a block or two.
Yeah, but we did a lot of walking up and down that Main Street hill. There was a lot of walking up and down that hill. But yeah, that's where that's at. And I like the idea of a glowing ghost, almost like it's somebody who worked as like, not concessions, but you remember like if you got to a theater too late, they would help you to your seat type of thing.
Yeah, they'd have a little flashlight.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that. Another historian writing about really just how much community involvement the Edmonds Theater has had with the community. Apparently a lot of people had their first jobs working at the theater.
Oh, cool.
Interesting.
Just different things around it, but yeah, well, including the author's own sister. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And it's, you mentioned a glowing ghost, and you mentioned it also was not typical, but whenever you see a Hollywood depiction of a ghost, until the show Ghosts, they were always shown as glowing, like Scooby-Doo, for example. Like the ghosts always glow.
Yeah, and this one is
Ghostbusters.
It's a shadow person with a glowing aura around them.
Does it have a color?
No one ever actually said what color it was glowing. It just had a glowing aura. it kind of reminded me of the movie Ghost, where I think some of the ghosts are silhouettes with glowing auras around them. But that was the only description, and it was interesting, both this and the Masonic Lodge, which we're going to talk about next. People would allude to ghost stories, but in the newspaper articles and interviews, but no one would actually tell the story. So I know there's more stories here. I'm just scratching the surface. So for our listeners, if you know more about ghosts in Edmonds, Washington, and would like to share your stories, we are all ears. And you can send that information to the hometownhauntedmail@gmail.com. Please. That would be great. Okay, so Edmonds Masonic Lodge. So this is our second stop on our haunted tour of Edmonds, and this is actually the former Edmonds Opera House. And wow, it like a lot of places built in the frontier times, they saw multiple uses over their lifetime and multiple additions. Sometimes they got raised and something new was built over it. So the original building was built in 1906, and it was the building's original use was as a recreational hall for the loggers and their families, known as the Socialist Gymnasium. That just rolls off the tongue. However, when the Yost family purchased the building, it was transformed into the Edmonds Opera House with a livery. Thank you. A livery stable beneath it, housings which would house stables for rent and horses and mules for hire. And this is also a little bit, I was a little bit confused by its timeline, because it sounds like the Oddfellows actually owned it along with the Yost family. So I got different people owning it at different times without any actual direct timeline. So a little confused by that. But it also had an Fellows Hall in the building. So it had the opera, then the livery stables beneath it, and the people that would work there, and then the Oddfellows Hall. So this place was a very bustling place of entertainment, which was interesting because when reading the interviews of the Masons who run the place now, they kept alluding to it being a very haunted place by all people that worked and lived around the area. So eventually, films outpaced the opera, and it was retrofitted into a movie theater. And in 1948, the building was sold to the Masons properly, who established a lodge there, and they keep rooms open for events, which is pretty normal. Apparently, they actually had their first lodge meeting in 1950, and it took them 2 years to clean out the building, which included basically all the Masons and their families helped clean what is now the dining room, which had been the stables in the basement. And they had to just hand wheel carts of manure out of what is now the dining room. So it's tenacity and determination. That's all I've got to say. That's not easy. And it's my parents were both in Eastern Star and Masons, and I know how how hardcore they are with their lodges. So reading that, I'm like, yep, that tracks. Anyway, there were a lot of ghosts that still call the Edmonds Opera House home. They range from the stable workers to opera stars. So the building's hotspot seems to be the basement, where lights will flicker on and off on their own. Witnesses have reportedly seen orbs floating through the building, and one visitor claimed to have been pushed by unseen forces down the stairs leading to the dining room. She was fine, but a bit surprised. The smell of pipe tobacco also floats through the air as in the old building. On occasion, perhaps it is the spirit of one of the fellow Masons still visiting his old lodge. The Masons have also had 2 separate paranormal teams investigate the location.
Wow, so there must be a lot.
There is a lot. Reading between the lines, this place has, they have a room that they call it the boys' room or the green room. And it is where brides, if they're using the lodge for their event, will get set up. but it seems to have been one of the old, either it was used during the stable times or it was used during the opera times, where the artists would get made up in their costumes, because there seems to be something that haunts that room and likes to play with the costumes. But what it is and how frequently it's seen is not discussed. It's just, hey, something likes to come in here and mess with our costumes. And something people don't really know about the Masonic lodges is they do a lot of performances.
I didn't
Like
know that.
a lot of acting. Like I helped my mom memorize so many lines for different Eastern Star events. And my dad would have to do the same thing too. And they would just be reenacting scenes from the Old Testament or other important Masons through history. And they would have all sorts of costumes with like fake beards, fake hair, hats, robes, lots of props. And the amount of Masonic buildings I have investigated as a paranormal investigator, I can count on two hands. It's just, they seem to be hotspots for the paranormal. It's the same with Oddfellow halls. And it's always a menagerie of people or spirits that they attract. Like, and a lot of times it's just former Masons that are haunting it.
So they
And
just really loved it. Maybe
they really love it.
About they love the paternity. Really, I mean, I guess that's what it is. They love their brothers there, and
well, it's their social club, right?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. And a lot of times buildings will actually have two lodges in them. They may have a Scottish Rite Lodge in them and an Eastern Star group. And all of them do a lot of work. And could you tell I was raised around it?
My grandfather was a Mason.
I think mine was too, on my mom's side.
Yeah, my grandma used to go to all the Eastern
We're
Star
going to move
stuff.
on to Port Townsend, which is not in Edmonds. It's right off. It's still in the Puget Sound. You can take a ferry. Christina, how did you like visiting there?
I thought it was really pretty. I was there a couple of years ago too on a women's art retreat, and actually since then, because I think we were there in 2017, and it looks like they've done a lot in the town. Like it looks fancier than my memory of it was before. Like it looks like they restored a bunch of the buildings, and it was just really beautiful.
That sounds nice. I haven't been up there yet, but
there's a giant skeleton by the water too that you can sketch. That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. You're just selling me on visiting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. They had a lot of nice little shops, bookstores and stuff.
Oh, I like that. And it's accessible by car from the mainland too. You just have to drive all the way around the sound. But did you get to visit the lighthouse at all? Did anyone talk about the lighthouse?
We drove by it, but we didn't get to it, which is too bad. That's a reason to go back, is to sketch it or paint it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really
and I believe you can visit this, but it's owned by the Coast Guard. So just something to keep in mind. So the lighthouse has stood at Port Wilson in one form or another since 1879. The first was built of wood, but was replaced in 1914 by a rock and concrete tower and uses the same lighthouse lenses as its predecessor. And this is the current tower that we have now. In 1921, very active year for our episode tonight, the SS Governor, then traveling with 250 crew and passengers on board, collided with the freighter, the SS West Heartland. The Heartland sank within 10 minutes of the collision, taking down with her all 8 of her crewmen on board. The Governor's survivors were rescued and taken to Seattle, except for, as legend will have it, one lifeboat, which made it to Point Wilson Lighthouse. According to legend, people started to report seeing the apparition of a young woman walking alone around the lighthouse. Night watchmen would report encountering the glowing, yet again a glowing, ghostly woman wearing a long dress walking from the outbuildings to the lighthouse before opening the door and walking inside. However, when the watchmen would investigate their ghostly visit or visitor, they would find the doors to the lighthouse would be shut and locked from the inside. Now, something to note is the outhouses or the outbuildings here are not tiny little houses that surround a tall light tower. It's a proper 2-story home with an attic that is within walking distance of the lighthouse building itself. So it's actually where the apartments are for the people who stay there. and they're fully functioning and have a kitchen, as we're about to discover. In 1979, the Coast Guard completely automated the operations of the lighthouse, but sightings continued. During this time, people were seeing a woman walking around the lighthouse, and they wondered if she was a victim of the earlier boat collision and that she was looking for her child who was lost at sea after the accident. Now, just because it's fully automated doesn't mean that no one lives there. In 1999, the crew of the cutter Osprey and their families moved into the lighthouse and its outbuildings. One day, one of the wives of a Coast Guardsman was in the kitchen when she saw something out of the corner of her eye. Unbothered, she continued to work in the kitchen when she could hear the distinct sounds of someone walking on the second floor above her, and then the sound of rummaging through boxes. When she yelled to whomever was exploring the second floor and the boxes therein that she had a gun, the sounds immediately stopped.
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. I would also stop anything I'm doing if somebody said, "Hey, I have a gun." Shut up. What are you doing in my house? In a different report, a guest was sleeping on the couch on the first floor of the outbuilding when they awoke from a terrible dream. And now, in this dream, they reported that they felt like they were being choked. So they woke up with a start, and they found a ghostly vestige of a woman walking from the living room where they are at to the kitchen. When the guests followed quickly after this entity, they found no one in the kitchen and the doors were securely locked. And that's all the stories from the lighthouse. But it was an interesting, much more active place than the places around Edmonds, because the Coast Guard apparently really love to tell their ghost stories, which I'm happy to hear.
Yeah. That's a beautiful photo of it with the mountain behind it. I feel like even though it was sunny, I only saw Rainier once. And that was like the first day when we did the ice cream cruise. And I also sent you, in 2017, I sketched that White Lighthouse. We went there and sketched for a while. And then went to dinner somewhere that was really nice right by the house. But we didn't go this time. But I have sketched it before.
Are people living there now? Do you know?
We did not go inside. Well, no, I'm lying. We did go inside, I think. I don't know. I've been to so many lighthouses. Sometimes it's like, did I go in that one or not?
Yeah.
Because they're really not that different from each other when you go into them. There's like a long stairway. And
yeah.
And did we go in that one? I might be. I sketched it. I sent you guys the sketch. But I don't remember if we went in or not. We probably didn't. Because it's really pretty around there. And you could tell from the photo that it wasn't. It was like a pretty gray day.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was raining, but it was a little bit grayer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
At one point, I wanted to do a tour of all the lighthouses in Michigan.
They do like sketch tours of that. It looks really neat.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like Northern Michigan looks like a great place to visit sometime.
Oh my God, I want to go so bad. My aunt lives in Traverse City. And I mean, it could take you a while to go visit all of those lighthouses, and some of them are hard to get to because they're not open.
Is it still not working? Like the new thing's not working?
It Cat is having technical difficulties.
Because it was working, and then now it's not working.
Yeah.
But this picture is really beautiful that you posted in the notes.
Yeah.
I wish it had looked like that day. But the sunsets that we had, like in Edmonds, were that beautiful.
Yeah.
But it felt like Mount Rainier was only visible like one day. So there might have been some. I know there's all those Canada wildfires right now, but I didn't know if they'd started then. But it was just hazy enough. It seems like Rainier, you have to have a very clear day to see it well.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's gorgeous.
Kat will explain it to us once we can hear her.
Yeah, when my sister was in New York, it was hazy there in the beginning of June. because of the wildfires.
I'm not touching this microphone again.
So when you touched it, when
I must have bumped the cord and that threw it into a tizzy. And yeah, so I unplugged it and then replugged it into my actual CPU, which is why I'm over here now. And yeah, it's that's weird. So sorry, I missed everything you said after. That's a beautiful picture.
We were just talking about the mountain you see in that picture, and I was saying the only time that I saw Mount Rainier while I was on this trip was when we were taking a little boat cruise with the ice cream boat the first day. And I did not see it any other time, even though it was sunny. And I was wondering if it's just it gets hazy and there's clouds. What is the mystery of Rainier, and why do you see it so infrequently when you're there?
So are you sure you saw Rainier and not like Mount Bear, which is one of the Olympics? Because that's the picture of the Olympics, not Rainier.
No, Rainier was this was when we were on the boat tour in Seattle.
Okay.
And the guy that was piloting the boat actually pointed out and said, "Oh, there's Rainier."
Yeah, and we'll say the mountain is out, which means it's a nice day. So generally, yeah, so Rainier is a volcano, is a dormant volcano. And for those who aren't aware, and it will create its own meteorology, essentially.
Cool.
which is why it's so tall and so high. I think it's one of the highest, if not the highest peak in the lower 48. I know there are ones in Alaska that are higher, but I think Rainier is the tallest in the lower 48. And it will create its own weather, like I said, and it tends to catch a lot of the clouds as well. You were lucky that we weren't in wildfire season. July isn't quite wildfire season yet. Though there was the Bear Gulch fire in its baby fire form when you were there, but that wasn't producing enough smoke yet to really get to you. There is just general haziness because you're on the sound next to a city, but yeah, generally there was enough wind to blow any particulates away that you could see the mountain, and it's gorgeous when you're able to see it. So,
I know it's. I mean, I've been by the airport before, and it's just so big and so close, and it's so amazing that a lot of times you don't see it, even if it's sunny. And it just must be that it just feels elusive. It's almost like Brigadoon or something.
It is very spooky when you hike it, because we were up there last year, and you'll be like, we were in the flower meadow on the Paradise side, and you can literally watch. I took video of it, of the clouds just passing you by down the mountain.
Oh wow!
It creates clouds and they just fall down. So suddenly you'll be in this wildflower field, and it will just get super foggy because a cloud is literally going over the field. We had to stop one family from accidentally walking off the side of the ridge.
Oh my
because
gosh.
the cloud, it's so thick, they thought that the trail kept going past a bench, and it was a 500-foot drop down. And
oh my God, they were probably terrified.
Well, they didn't realize it. They were talking and having a good time, like looking at all the wildflowers and everything, and like, we're on top of a mountain. And I have my All Trails app open while we're walking the trail, mostly because we have a small child, and we didn't want them running off and basically falling. And the All Trails app, when you have it open, it will give you the topography and the distance between drops. And I was like, hey, family over there, don't go any further. Don't walk past that bench because it drops immediately. And they didn't believe me until I showed them the topography.
Why would you lie about that?
I don't know, but the following day, I'm just that cruel of a person. The next day we were back in the same place, and it was clear, and we could see just how much of a drop it was. It was a sheer drop off, and there are no fences, no real warnings. It was just like, oh, okay. So
people die on Rainier all the time. I mean, I wonder if there's like haunted stories there.
Oh, there are.
Do they climb Rainier like they do Everest?
They can, yeah.
It's the same. Okay.
It's a very
Yeah.
deadly mountain.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it before, but and you could probably talk a little bit more about. I guess what happens is because of temperature changes, they have a lot of crevasses, and then the crevasses will get covered by snow, so people don't know they're stepping in a crevasse.
And down they go.
Yeah, it's you don't want to do that.
You're just okay. I'm gonna stay on flat ground then. Thank you.
Well, if you ever visit Rainier, just don't go up into the snow area. So, because that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah,
I think that doesn't sound like something I'm going to do.
No.
My sister recently went out to Utah to visit my brother to scatter my mom's ashes with him, and I told her, I said, "Do you have any hiking boots?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "You need to take my hiking boots, because you know you can slip and fall pretty easily." And guess what she did? She slipped and fell because she didn't wear the hiking boots.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, when I went to
She's fine. She just scraped up her elbow, but I'm like, don't get too close to the edge, so you don't want anybody pushing you in.
It was interesting when I was walking around at Mount Etna, I didn't realize that lava rock can really cut up your shoes. And I had, I mean, these were hiking shoes, but they were fabric and they got all cut up by it.
Yeah. I've broken 2 toes.
Ay.
And it was both of them were hiking and not wearing the right shoes and bashing my foot into a boulder on the trail. So wear proper footwear when out hiking. It's just no flip-flops. Yeah, the volcanic rock will not just cut up your shoes, it will cut up your skin if you fall down. And Rainier and Adams and Baker are all volcanoes that are here in Washington. And then, if you fall down them, it will hurt a lot. So, and layer, because I know the first day we went up to Rainier, I told Mike, you want to layer, you want to have like not just a t-shirt like this, but also at least one long sleeve layer. And maybe a windbreaker over it. And he's just like, nah, it was okay. It's like 70 out. I'll be fine. It was not 70 at the summit. Like we weren't even at the summit. It was in the 50s. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I'm so cold. And then it started raining. And I'm just like, I told you so. Like it makes its own weather. So,
when we were in doing the art retreat in 2017, we went. No, this wasn't 2017. This was 2019, but we went horseback riding close to Yellowstone, but kind of up in the Northwest area. And this horseback ride, we got snowed on, rained on, and then it was hot because of the sun.
Yeah.
That's
great. That's great.
No.
Well,
uncomfortable.
I know. It was just like layers, like you said.
Yeah, layers. Always layers.
It's like everything happened to us.
I went on a cross-country trip once with my college roommate, and I can't remember where we were, but it was so cold, you know, and this was at the end of June. So on my birthday, June 29th, I was in the mountains touching snow, which I never thought, that thought never occurred to me in my life until then. And, you know, we kept going up and down. And by the time we got to San Francisco, we're like, we're getting jackets. We didn't need them at that point.
Yeah.
There's been many vacations where I've had to buy sweatshirts or more clothes because it was colder than I anticipated.
Yeah, that happened to me in Juneau this year. I bought a sweatshirt because I packed my jacket and I did pack long sleeve shirts, but I forgot that middle layer in between. And in the early morning, you want it. So I was just like, oh no, I must buy this super soft sweatshirt from the souvenir store and wrap myself with it.
So see, people, it's not just the Midwest. You all get different climates in 24 hours.
Yeah, really, that's just being on Earth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, maybe except for the desert. It's pretty similar.
You can still get different climates there too.
Other than the rain?
Other than rain. Yeah.
So before did we make it through the whole ghost story with the?
Those were all the ghost stories I had.
Okay. Yeah. It was So there's nothing after the ghost on the or the
It's a
guest
very
on the
abrupt
couch.
end. Yes, I know. Yeah, it's just that's the end of the ghost stories that I have. But like I said, there's a lot of allusion to more stories hidden underneath the surface that the people that are at the theater don't want to talk about, or definitely at the Masonic Hall, they don't want to talk about it. The theater, reading some of the comments with some of the articles are like, well, I worked there in high school and I've been there all the times of the day and it's really creepy looking, but I never saw a ghost. And even one of the journalists for one of the articles was like, well, they're all really great stories, but I never ran into anything. And I'm like, well, with that attitude, you're not going to find anything, sir, old man. But
that's true.
Yeah, it's. I mean, ghosts don't come out. They don't perform. They're like cats. They don't perform on command. They're going to visit whom they want when they want. So
exactly.
Anyway, and on that note, and I apparently have a cursed microphone tonight.
I think it's the Mason thing, so let's not talk too much about that.
I guess this would be a good time to end the show. We've been recording for a while, so
yes.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us for another haunted and cursed episode of the Hometown Haunts
This has
podcast.
been exciting.
Yes. If you have any stories of your own from your neck of the woods that you would like to contribute to the show, please feel free to email them to hometownnhauntedmail@gmail.com. That gives us permission to read it on air. You can also share your stories and your adventures on our Facebook group, which is just Hometown Haunts, or on Instagram at hometownhaunts_podcast, or Blue Sky at hometownhaunts.bsky.social. So thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm Kat.
I'm Christina.
I'm Jen.
And have a very spooky weekend.
Yeah.